The European Union is set to delay Brexit. Officials have been meeting in Brussels considering Britain's request. While they have agreed to an extension, the length of the deferment will only be decided next week.
Well, some EU members, like France, oppose granting an extension until January 31st, unless Britain can show it is organising a vote that would clarify its position.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is adamant about settling the crisis through a snap election. MPs will vote on Monday on whether to go to the polls on December the 12th.
And for more, Mia Alberti joins us from Brussels. Mia, so what are some of the factors the EU has to take into account when deciding on a new deadline?
Well, like you just said, we have member states divided on on how to extend this how to grant this extension. I mean, obviously we have France in one side saying that they do not agree with this extension, although all member states have agreed to grant this extension. We have heard from France that they do not agree with it because they don't see enough reason to grant it. So France is showing a little bit of resistance in this type of negotiations behind me in this Commission building. And then on the other side we have Germany basically calling all member states, let's try to avoid a no-deal Brexit by any means. And so they are the ones who are pushing for a longer Brexit extension. Of course, what is on the stake here is that member states do not want to look like fools. They do not want to grant an extension for Brexit and then have, for example, a second referendum or an election that would change fundamentally their agreement that they've done to the UK, or even Brexit itself. So they don't want to risk looking like fools, because this is not the first time that either the UK or the European Union are in this position. They have reached an agreement before, and they don't want to, keep going through this situation for many months and years to come. So that's the resistance that we are hearing from one side, and from the other trying to avoid a no deal.
So it sounds like the country still have a lot to get through, Mia. How is that going to impact the timeline on when we can expect a decision?
Well, again, a lot of division on that as well. We have some member states saying that this should be a very short extension, maybe just a couple of more weeks to see what the UK decides on their end. So we have heard some reports about November 15th being a possibility. And then what most of the member states are pushing for is a 3-month extension until January 31st, 2020. So that will be 3 months of an extension. But we are also hearing a possibility that, they can set this date, but then the UK can leave before that. That's the so-called flex tension that we've been hearing a lot. So it would be, they would set a date, a maximum date, let's say, so a deadline, but the UK could leave before that date. But again, we have member states still deciding on that, and on Friday we saw them, the EU27 ambassadors meeting. They have agreed that they want an extension, that they agreed that they want to avoid a no deal, but that's the thing they cannot agree on. It's the date for this extension. And so they have said through their spokesperson that they will reconvene again on Monday or Tuesday, and that's basically saying that they want to wait to see what the UK does. Obviously, the UK is also waiting to see what the EU does. So we're in a little bit of an impasse here, but we might hear an official decision on this extension either Monday or Tuesday.
All right, thanks for that update, Mia. We've been speaking with Mia Alberti, reporting from Brussels.